Okay, welcome to lesson 90 of algebraic concept, nonlinear functions. So we're going to deal with the first function that's not a line. All right, here's our objective, nonlinear functions. So how do you know that it's nonlinear? Well, the exponent will be to some power. So here we call it what is squared. Anything to the second power is called squared because on a 2D graph, it makes a square. Okay, some vocabulary for you. Okay, the vertex, that's an equation to find the vertex of a parabola. That's an important little nugget to keep. And this is just an intro right now. We will come back to this later at a later point in time and deal with quadratic equations because there's a lot to deal with analyzing quadratic equations. But all we're going to talk about is the vertex, the axis of symmetry, maybe the intercepts at the best. So a quadratic function or anything squared, y equals x squared, f of x equals x squared, you will get a U-shaped graph. If a is less than 0, that's the constant, where a, b, and c are constants. Well, that means numbers. The numbers in front of your variable is negative. The u is going to shape down. If the coefficient in front of the x squared is positive, your u will shape up. Okay, plot the following points on the coordinate plane. So we're going to take these points and plot them. Okay, so from the previous page, we have 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 went to 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Negative 1, 1, negative 2, 4, and negative 3, 9. And then you just connect the dots. And as you can see, we get a U shape. I can't plot 416 on this graph. Our vertex, the line that splits it in the middle, is x equals 0. And when we said from the last video, when x is 0, you get a vertical line. This is also your y-axis. When x is 0, that's your y-axis. When y is 0, that's your x-axis. So the vertex splits the graph in half. And what do we mean? If we were to fold this side over here, if we were to fold it over, you would get what's called a mirror image. If you take this shape and fold it over, you will get the same shape from side to side. So that's just a little note to keep. All right. Find the axis of symmetry for the following parabolas. And as we can see, I pulled these off my TI-84, these pictures. It's right through there. So now we're going to use the vertex formula because the vertex is a point. So how do we get the vertex? The vertex of a parabola is negative b over 2 times a. Here's your b, here's your a. So we got negative 6 over 2 times 2, which equals negative 6 over 4, which is negative 3/2. So when x equals negative 3/2, that is your axis of symmetry. Okay, same thing here. Your a, your b. Negative b over 2a. Negative 6 over 2 times negative 2 gives us negative 6 over negative 4, which is positive 3/2. So x equals positive 3/2 for that formula. So it's in between 1 and 2 and on the right. So it's in between 1 and 2, and this one is in between negative 1 and negative 2. And those were our two examples. Try to practice problems that are coming up, and I will meet you at the end of the video for the review. Tell whether a parabola opens upward or downward, and then find the axis of symmetry. So the first thing we have to do with this is put this in order. So we have like terms, f of x, and when I say put it in order, when you have any function or any expression, your letters go first in alphabetical order, and then the highest degree term, that's the highest coefficient, not the highest coefficient, the highest power goes first. So we don't have any straight x's, but we got an x and an x squared, two x squareds. The sign in front of it, we're going to put a 1 in. -1 plus 5 is +4, so we got 4x squared plus 4. So, because a is positive, it opens up. And now let's find our axis of symmetry by finding the vertex. I should have put x instead of v. -b, there's no x term, so 0 over 2 times 4 equals 0. So this means that this graph is symmetric about the y-axis. So x equals 0. And that I should change that v to an x. I'll do that on the next example. Okay, same thing. Tell whether the parabola opens upward or downward. So we got to rearrange this one. -1x squared minus 2x plus 5. Our a term is negative, so it opens down. And now to find a vertex, x equals -b over 2 times a, which gives us negative of -2. We're substituting using parentheses to keep our sign straight. We get 2 over -2, which is -1. So our axis of symmetry is when x equals -1, that will be a vertical line at -1. Okay, so graph the function f of x equals x squared minus 2x minus 8 for the following domain, -2 to 4. So I put it in there for you. So now we're just going to substitute -2 squared minus 2 times -2 minus 8. So we get negative 2 squared is 4 minus 2 times negative 2. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Minus that 2 negatives become 4. 4 plus 4 is 8 minus 8 is 0. Ooh, that's a lot of negatives. You might want to put this in the calculator. Okay, negative 1 squared is positive 1 minus 2 times negative 1, which is plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3, minus 8 is negative 5. 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 8 is negative 8. 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8. 1 minus 2 is negative 1 minus 8 is negative 9. 2 squared minus 2 times 2 minus 8. 4 minus 4 is 0 minus 8, so this becomes minus 8. 3 squared minus 2 times 3 minus 8. 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. And then 4 is 16 minus 8. Minus 8. So 16 minus 2 times minus 8 minus 8 is 0. Okay, and as we can see, this one looks like it has a bottom at negative 9. So this one faces up. And we're supposed to graph that. So let's go to the graph. So at negative 2, we're at 0. So that's this point here. Negative 1, we're at negative 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. At 0, we're at negative 8. I did not make enough room on this graph. I should have got one that was lower. 2 is at negative 8. 3 is at negative 5. And 4 is at 0. So our vertex of symmetry is at positive 1. It's our lowest point on the graph. And it's shaped up. So when we get another video on this, we're going to look at how to identify where the lowest point is and all that kind of stuff. The absolute max, the absolute min. But this is just an intro. What do quadratic graphs look like? What they look like on the table of values? Does the U face up or down? And the axis of symmetry. So thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. There will be many videos on this channel, so please look through the playlist to find anything you're looking for. And please watch the welcome video. It explains how this channel is set up, and then an introduction to each section. There's a basic video for that. And I will see you on the next video.